Just really proud of our guys and their efforts they put forward Saturday there in that last Battle of the Piney Woods. Really, really pleased with how they came out and competed for 60 minutes, left everything on the field, came up, obviously 1 point short, and, kind of felt like we let that one get away from us. But really, my hat's off to them and the way they play. I thought it was the best we've played all year, which is a good sign, continuing to get better. But, there was a lot of hurt in that locker room. Those guys, bared the weight of what the magnitude of that game was and wanted to win it, not for themselves, not for our season, but for, everybody that's ever donned the purple and white, every player that's ever played in this program, every student's ever gone to SFA, just with, that intense rivalry and what it is. And they were crushed not to be able to win that thing. And I really, again, hats off to them, just their effort and how hard they played and how well they played throughout the game. A lot of credit obviously goes to Sam Houston and their staff and players. They ended up 1 point better than we did and everything. But it was a tough locker room. But sulked about it for about 24 hours and sun came up the next day. Came up today, and so we've put that thing in the rearview mirror and have all focus now on Abilene Christian coming in here at 4-1 and a really good football team. We had a great practice today. Maybe to be honest with you, some of our best meetings there on Monday and a really good Tuesday practice. So appreciate and the maturity of this team to be able to, because that's a tough one, in this profession. A lot of times, you lose a game like that, it can end up beating you twice or three times or ruin your whole season just because you don't have the maturity or the wherewithal just to put it in the rearview mirror and get up and take the next step forward. And I think our team is doing that and really excited about what Saturday holds.
What does Abilene Christian do best on both sides of the ball?
Abilene Christian, I think on both sides of the ball, they're just playing at a very high level. Offensively, Stephen Lee is one of my best friends. We were coordinators together back in the day at West Texas A&M and went on a national semifinal run and roommates on the road. And he's a good friend of mine. Has done a great job with that offense. They're going to motion and shift and try to get you in some bad situations and take advantage of you there. Got some really good players. Got a receiver who can really run, a really talented tailback. Quarterbacks played at a high level this year. Defensively, Coach Patterson, again, another good friend. He was the DC at Texas Tech last year, and so we faced him before and have crossed paths with him throughout my career and a lot of respect for him and the program he's building there. But he's got a heavy hand, I think, in that defense, and they're playing extremely well. Got some really good guys up front that can get after you. And then they've had some good transfers that have come in and helped them in the back end and really athletic and disruptive. So they're only giving up, I think, right at 15 points a game. And they've played, an SEC team. They played Missouri very respectfully, and I don't know if that's the right word, respectable game against Missouri, who had number one team in all of college football on the ropes last week. So that shows you, we've got a great opponent coming to town. I don't know if they're ranked or not. I hadn't looked at the rankings or anything like that, but they're 4-1 and playing with a lot of confidence, and we'll have our hands full on Saturday. We're going to have to show up and play really well to have a chance in this one.
How are you doing health-wise as a team?
I think we, came out of that one really good. A few bumps and bruises, hard-fought game. There was some hitting going on and laying it all on the line. But for the most part, no new injuries really to report on, and hopefully get a few guys back here in the next week or two to add to it. And as we move forward into WAC play starting next week.
I wanted to ask you too about the community support and everything, like after Saturday's game, just because I know there was a lot of stuff going around social media and whatnot, but so yeah, what was the response to you and to the team as a whole from the community?
I think it spoke volumes. You got a lot of people behind us there, just second largest crowd in Battle of Piney Woods history, and they were loud, made a big difference. And my thanks and our players' thanks to everybody that showed up wearing purple and were loud and had an impact in that game. So a lot were tuned in there in person, a lot obviously with it being on national TV and regional. I don't know what it is. I don't ever get to watch TV, but I know it's on TV. There was a lot of support for our guys in our program, and community's been great. Everybody I've talked to has been fantastic, and you got a few naysayers here and there that they're Monday morning quarterbacks, and I am too. There's a lot of things we'd like to have back, and that's what we talk about in a game like that. You lose in that fashion. There's a lot of plays, a lot of calls, a lot of decisions that could have changed that one. And I always feel like in big games like that, big rivalry games, it's usually the team that makes the least amount of mistakes wins, and I feel like that was the case Saturday. Again, all credit, to Sam Houston, those guys, and they made the plays to win. But I think we made a few more mistakes than they did, and that ended up being, the difference in the ball game. Special teams, we had some critical errors and gave up 160-something yards and hidden yardage that, 166 yards in a game that, and you lose by one, that's a tough pill to swallow. And then, red zone, I think, we were down the red zone 4 times in that one and came away with 9 points. They were in the red zone twice, came away with 14. And so 5 points makes a big difference in a 1-point ball game. But I'm getting down another rabbit hole there. But, back to the fans, they've been awesome. We had a record crowd here, opening game against Warner, and I expect another big crowd. It's going to be a beautiful day, 80 degrees and sunshine Saturday with Abilene Christian coming in. So, big time game, big time atmosphere, and look forward to seeing everybody out there wearing purple, supporting the Lumberjacks.
All right, Coach. When you look over when you watch the film again and look over that 3rd and 9 that hit, first of all, did they call it hit on the defensive receiver? And like, what is your thought now after seeing it?
Yeah, that was a big talking point there during the game, after the game, and even throughout this week was the big play on 3rd and 9 that TK made, and the call, the one flag was thrown by the back judge, and the call ended up being hitting a defenseless receiver, and it was went in their favor. Upon film review, the league reached out to us even before we contacted them, and those are judgment calls, they're tough calls, and everything else. But I think everybody that has seen the film and the communication we've had, it was a bad call. Those things happen, and that's the human error of football, and so the call was not made correctly, and that's unfortunate. We didn't lose the game because of that call. Everybody, texts me, calls me, sees me, the refs, this and that and the other. That call didn't lose us the game. That was a big moment and a big game that everybody wants to talk about. But, we lost that game. We had a chance to win the game later, and we stopped them, 4th and goal, but we were offsides, so that call didn't lose us the game. I was very, very pleased with TK because that's a bang play. He hit the player in the air with his shoulder in the midsection, exactly, textbook the way they teach it. But he was beat up after the game, blaming himself. But football's I think one of the greatest sports on the planet because it teaches so many life lessons. And the football lesson in that is take care of business where you're not playing in a 1-score game where a call that goes your way or against you, doesn't have an effect on the game. Handle your business. Make fewer mistakes, execute at a level where officiating has no bearing on a game. That's the football lesson. Life lesson is, hey, sometimes life doesn't go your way. Sometimes it's not fair. Sometimes you get a bad call or, bad things happen in life or you lose your job or sickness in your family. Life's going to punch these guys just like it punches each one of us in the mouth each and every day. Life is not fair, but you've got to get up, put one foot in front of the other, seize the next day. And that's the life lesson learned out of a tough loss like this. And I think our guys are doing that and have had a great approach in terms of meetings and practice so far this week is, you got to get up, dust yourself off, cowboy up, and go to work. And so they're doing that. And I'm excited to see, what comes from the second half of our season, because I'm proud of the way we played, and I'm excited about the team we have.
Can you talk about Trey Self, third all-time in passing yards at SFA?
Yeah, he has had a great career here, and really, I think he broke it on that big pass. Might have been over the top to Mo Wedman. I thought I think he started out 14 of 14 in that game. Really on fire, and playing at a level that he's capable of playing, and that we knew he could. And 4-year starter. He's had a hand in a lot of big wins and helping turn this program around from where it was when we got a hold of this thing to where we are now. And so, tickled to death for him. I don't know where the record book stands. I imagine it's Mr. Moses up there at the very top. I don't know if that one's attainable, but I know he'll continue to add to his numbers this year with 6 games left, and hopefully then some after that. So got some good receivers to throw to, and a good old line up front. And so happy for him in those records that he's taken on.
The defense side of the ball. How do you feel going into the ACU game after the performance you saw against?
Yeah, really fired up about our defense. That's no secret. That's been a rebuild, kind of a retool, losing pretty much our entire defensive staff, and then 7 FBS NFL level players off of last year's defense for this reason or that. It's a rebuild, and we weren't playing at a high level throughout the first 4 games. I know we shut the one team out, but that they've gotten better each week, and but going into that one, that's one of the things I told the team in the locker room. There's a lot of hurt in there, like I was saying earlier, but I felt so much better at whatever time it was, 6:30 at night, than I did at 2:30 when we were kicking off, just about our team and what we can accomplish. To see our offense play at the level they did, that first half, and at times there in the second, and then our defense just throughout that game, play so well and so hard and stop the run, and that's, Sam Houston's a good football team. They've got 85 scholarships. We've got 63. They're supposed to beat us. But we were right there and had a chance to do it, and had it won there a time or two, and just things didn't go our way. But really excited about the defense and their play, and excited about our players. Some of them were really beating themselves up with things that happen, block punts and penalties and this, that, and the other. And in a game like that, those things don't. They beat you because you allow them to, we had opportunities, as I spoke on earlier, just within the red zone, within mistakes made, to not make it such a close game to where those things didn't matter. But really, really pleased with how they played and the performance overall of our defense.
Talk about Miles Hurd. Second time this year he's won the WAC Defensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, the hitman. He's done a great job for us, and 4th year playing there at safety, and kind of runs the show back there, and I don't know how many tackles he had. There's a whole bunch, and pass breakup, and was all over the field. He did a great job and very deserving of that award. TK Lloyd was right there with him, his partner in crime back there, and TK had the big hit on 3rd and 9 that got flagged, and we've reviewed that, and that's a great play, and really proud of him and his efforts, and just up front, the defensive line, created a lot of havoc and a lot of pressure. Linebackers played as good as they've played all year, so really, really pleased. Again, one guy gets the credit in terms of the WAC player of the week, and Miles Hurd, and deservingly so. But there was 15, 16 other guys on that defense that were just really laying it all on the line for each other, and put together a really nice performance. Axe 'em Jacks.